Hi, welcome to the 7th week of the season of Eastertide and the next of these organic devotions to supplement the season. Thank you for following along. It's called hardening off, that transitional period of gradually, a few hours at a time, introducing young seedlings to the great outdoors after that protected time all these weeks in the greenhouse where there is no wind, there are no storms, rainfall in the form of a watering can is moderated and systematic, and temperatures are relatively controlled. In a few weeks, they will make the great migration to the garden itself, where, having been suitably toughened up, they will hopefully be able to stand up to and hold their own against whatever Mother Nature might have to throw at them. It's not unlike our own maturing. First we're carried, then we crawl until finally we walk upright. After the sheltered and attended years of childhood, we move into that season called adolescence, when we are gradually introduced to more and more challenges. It can be a scary and anxious time for parents and gardeners. Everything was easier and safer in the greenhouse. Sure, there were issues along the way, but they were manageable. Nothing like the threats and vulnerabilities, the predators and privations lurking and luring out there in the cold, cruel world. But plants, especially vegetables, weren't meant for greenhouse living. Kids either. Oh, sure, it happens, but the results aren't particularly flavorful. Flavor being the product of minerals and organic matter in real soil, actual sunlight, and the chance to reach deep and wide. The Apostle Paul understood that, reminding the Corinthian Christians of their own spiritual development. He recalls how, "I fed you with milk, not solid food, for you weren't ready for solid food." Later, in that famous love chapter, he notes how, "When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. But when I became an adult, I put an end to childish ways." There aren't, of course, guarantees. Not all of them thrive. Any number of things can happen. But as parents and gardeners, we do our best to prepare them, doing what we can to encourage and develop strength and resilience, and finally, independence. And now, with all the fanfare of graduation parties and transplanting, we get to send them out to see what they can do on their own. Because bearing fruit is what God created them to do. All of us, in fact. How are you stretching deeper and wider as you continue to transition from milk to solid food? What's the fruit that you are bearing by the Spirit's cultivation? I'd love to hear from you. You can email me if you wish by writing me at organicdevotions@gmail.com. And I hope that you'll return here again next week for the next in this series of video devotions. Bye-bye.